Note, everything said in this video could and probably is false. It is just a look at few things, few tactical aspects of the game, but I do not claim to be smart, nor do I claim to know what I'm actually talking about, so take everything with a grain of salt. Thank you. Now, to have a look at the tactical breakdown and how we set up against Werder Bremen, it's important to look at the formation, and that's why we've got FIFA open, since it's a very easy program and it's very easy to actually show how we set up, what our plan was. I also have images from the game itself that I'll be showing later on that will help further the point, and I've also got a few statistics, so we'll be trying to do this an in-depth look, and if this goes well, you might do this a regular series. Now on paper, looking at our players, it looks like we set up as a 4-3-3. However, inside the game, we actually set up as a 4-4-2, with Muller being a second centre forward and our system being very narrow, with Bernat and Rafinha supposed to provide a wing play, supposed to provide wing superiority, and supposed to support Lam and Thiago. Now this wasn't seen too often. There were a few instances in the game when Rafinha and Bernat were actually on the wings trying to cross in, but this didn't happen much, so we lacked. That's why we lacked such a presence on the wings. Now what was interesting was that Alaba, who normally always goes forward, didn't actually go forward in this match, and this responsibility actually fell on Boateng, which we'll see in a second, but just beware that Boateng was the one that actually went more forward than Alaba in this match. Now, as mentioned, our system was supposed to be very, very narrow, but due to the fact that both Rafinha and Bernat didn't really provide much help in creating width, it meant that Thiago and Lam had to go really, really wide. Now, it is best depicted by this image where you can see Bernat trying to get there, but it just being too slow, and Rafinha just being way, way, way too far behind. So they didn't actually offer any support to Lam and Thiago, especially Thiago, who likes to drift in and not play through the wings. He likes to come inside and then provide crosses or provide through balls. So it was really important in this match that Bernat would do the overlapping run to Thiago, and that Rafinha would do the overlapping run to Lam. It didn't actually happen in this game very much, so that's why our midfielders, quote unquote, with Thiago and Lam had to go quite wide, and that's why we really lacked any dangerous play first few minutes. Now, what I also mentioned at the beginning was that Boateng moved forward quite a lot, and that was actually a very good tactic, because Muller or Lewandowski would come forward, dragging a defender with them and creating space behind them. It would just depict by this image and the next image, where you can see Muller go forward to create space for Vidal, who was offside unfortunately, so he was just offside, but it was a great idea and we tried that a few times in this match. Now, us having no real wingers was that bad that even Lewandowski went to the wings to try and create something, which obviously that's not a strong game, so he failed. However, after around 15 to 16 minutes, that is when we started seeing crosses come in, which is what our strikers excel at getting to. It's quite funny that our first real dangerous cross came from Thomas Müller, where Lewandowski then did a flying header, but he just missed the ball. But after that point, it seemed like, wow, crosses actually work, let's try them. And starting from there, we saw a lot more crosses, especially from Rafinha, who did a cross that was just too far, but Thiago got at the end of the ball from that cross, and then he did his little thing where he passed the ball to Müller, who then scored. So yeah, crosses do work, surprisingly. Now, if you stop looking at how Bayern played and start looking at how Werder Bremen played, it's clear to see what the plan was. The plan was to crowd us out, and the plan was essentially to not let us pass. It's basically stifle us of a pass, and it worked really well for a long period of the game, and that's why we looked so toothless, because we couldn't pass forward. Because Werder Bremen, they shut down the channels really well, and they worked really well as well. Once we had the ball, they would usually use 3 to 4 people trying to box us in so we can't play the ball. If we had the ball near our goal, they would have 3 or 4 man pressing us, so that we'd have to try the long ball, which they would try to win. So they did have a very good plan to stop us in this match, and it worked for a very long period on the match. Now, Werder Bremen, they would go at us a lot by trying to have superiority in numbers, which to me seemed like a suicidal tactic, but it actually worked really well for a long period of the match. And but they were also very varied in their attacks. They also would use counters. They would also use long balls. Just because they were the underdogs, they weren't supposed to get anything out of it according to the media. So they just tried to use a various amount of tactics, various amount of playing style to try and get forward, to try and push forward, and it actually worked quite well. They've had a few great chances which they could have converted, which they maybe should have converted, but at the end of the day, it didn't work out for them. Now, that is unfortunately all I have time for today, but I'm gonna leave you with three players heat maps and 3 players playing styles. And these players are Alonso, Boateng and Thiago, so you can have a look at how they played, where they passed to and whatnot. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Tell me in the comment section down below if you want to see more of these. This was a little bit rushed, I have to admit, just because I wanted to see how it works, how it look out, because I'm not really that good at editing, and I decided not to use too much editing, not to do too much work, as it would just take too long, and the video probably wouldn't be out today, which I said I would make it today. So yeah, it is what it is. But if you want me to do more like the future games and whatnot, I'll give it a go and see if anything like that is possible. But yeah, as always, people rate, comment, subscribe. This was me, TV. Peace out and have a nice day. Bye.